watching Countdown to Kickoff, Tampa Bay versus Pittsburgh on MOR. Brought to you by Yingling Traditional Lager.
Well, one of the players that has really taken off this year for the Buccaneers, Deshaun Jackson, who coming into this week was leading the league in receiving, of course, the long touchdown passes. A much more engaged Deshaun Jackson this year. Stayed a lot longer in the offseason. More OTAs, work with Jameis, work with Fitz, and that is paying off big time in the first few weeks. All right, welcome back to Raymond James Stadium as the fans file in here after a huge thunderstorm earlier, but we're going to have good weather for the game tonight. Of course, Derrick Brooks was known as the Godfather back in the day, and perhaps no player was closer to Tony Dungy than Derrick Brooks, old double nickel. I had the privilege to sit down with Derrick one-on-one to talk to him about his mentor.
Let's talk about one of your mentors in Tony Dungy and what he meant to you, not only as a man, how he developed you as a man, but as a football player. As you join him now, or he joins you in the Ring of Honor for the Bucs.
Well, it's the same feeling that I had when, he joined me in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'm so excited and happy, not just for, his coaching accolades, but, for the humanitarian and the man that he's helped, not only myself, but a lot of players that played for him become. That's what I'm excited about. And for him to have, obviously a big hand in the rebuilding of our team, when he took over to having the success in Indy, he's always considered Tampa, here is home. And that's where he and his family live. So we get a chance to celebrate him this coming Monday night.
How about as a football player? I mean, you came in with high accolades, but also people were unsure if you could play in the NFL. Too small to play in the NFL, but Tony believed in you tremendously.
Yes, and he's, brought in the true 4-3 defense my rookie year. Go back to one of the first phone calls he made when he got the job. He called me, and I was up in Tallahassee getting my master's, and we talked for about over an hour about how he wanted me to start to ascend into a leadership role. And I was a lot hesitant about that because we had Hardy Nickerson, and I told him, Coach, we got Hardy for all those things. Hardy is great. And he said, you're right, but it's going to be times where you will have an opportunity to lead, and I don't want you to pass it by. And the defense we're playing, he told me about from Jack Lambert and Jack Ham, how it started with those guys. And at the time, Eddie McDaniel was playing the will linebacker for him at Minnesota. He saw me in those same folds. And the final thing he, kind of told me in that conversation that he expected Warren and I to be the Joe Green and Jack Ham of his defense.
Wow.
I said, okay, Coach, I'll see you when I get in Tampa. We can talk about that one. I said, that's a bit much.
For a losing franchise, right, you're thinking like, this guy's lost his mind.
Man, that's a bit much. So a couple weeks later, we have our first team meeting, and, he stands in front of the team, and he tells us how, his job here is to get us to win the community. It's not about winning football games on the field. Because if we all just win games and don't impact our community, we all lose. For a man to say that in your first team meeting to a losing franchise, I'm still puzzled. So he's told me two things here that's blown my mind in the last 2 weeks at the time that I had, what is he talking about? And after that meeting and we went out to practice, I met with him in his office, and JP sat down there really and explained to me about community impact and how we will use this football team in the way we go about our business to change the community of Tampa Bay. And the light went on for me, and I got it.
That goes to my next question, because Tony's such a stoic man, and football is such an emotional game, and it was often criticized for not being that emotional guy. and obviously he had a winning strategy in some way. What did he do behind the scenes to make you guys follow him and believe in him? You guys started 0-5.
Yes.
I mean, how did you stay with it?
His poise. One of his favorite sayings is no excuses, no explanation, and have poise in the noise. When everything is so array and it's going and people either criticizing you or people praising you or you're on that football field, and whether it's people cheering you or people rather booing you, your poise doesn't change. You gotta master the moment.
All right, let's kind of segue to the Super Bowl. And what do you think Tony's impact was on that team?
How coach impacted me that year was when they fired him that March. And, you know, I was an emotional wreck. You know, wasn't no pause in the nose for me, for sure. And, you know, him having the opportunity to meet with me in the office that they just fired him, in the ring. You know, I go there to see him. He pulls me to the side in the office. He said, "Derrick, you need to move on." And he informs me of the opportunity that he's going to have coming shortly with the Colts. And in order for our team to be successful, I need to move on. I need to channel all these emotions now, get rid of them, and lead this football team. And he said, the team is on the brink, have some championship pedigree, and hopefully these changes and you guys getting better at what you're doing, think you can get there. He said, but if you don't move on and lead this team's going to self-destruct. You cannot, and he frankly told me, say, you cannot lose it at this point. Channel all these emotions, get yourself together, and lead this team. And then the moment, and that's what's so amazing about it, in this moment of, you know, disappointment for me and obviously for him, that he has the mindset to still think about this team and me as a man and what I need to do versus agreeing with me, and we both punch a hole in the wall. He did.
It's 99% of everybody would do.
Exactly.
Wallow in the pity.
But it's that same demeanor that when I see him eulogize his son.
I was just thinking about that same moment.
That's what I saw, that man, that temperament. And again, I can only say that's the God that's in him that we all get a chance to touch, see, and feel.
Amazing man, Coach Tony Dungy. We'll have my one-on-one interview with him coming up in just a little bit. He'll recount that moment as well. And don't forget, we'll have more with Derrick Brooks and USF coach Charlie Strong on our Chronicles edition, November 15th at 8 o'clock. So check that out as well. All right, when we come back, and we're going to talk to O.J. Howard. He had that 75-yard touchdown last week. He's starting to become a superstar. And we'll head back to Orlando and Courtney. We'll chat about the Bucs' fantasy impact. Stay with us.
You're watching Countdown to Kickoff, Tampa Bay versus Pittsburgh, right here on MOR. Brought to you by Yingling Traditional Lager. Welcome back to Countdown to Kickoff, Tampa Bay versus Pittsburgh on MOR. Brought to you by Yingling Traditional Lager.
And these young Buck fans are showing off their moves to the Bucs fan zone next to Raymond James Stadium. They even have a beach out here now, which some folks are enjoying. Game day around the stadium, something special, especially when the Bucs are winning. It's a lot more fun around here. Already the fans, the Steeler fans and the Buck fans going back and forth as they file into the game. It's going to be one terrific atmosphere here tonight. All right, last year's #1 pick, O.J. Howard, had a huge impact last week as he went 75 yards against the Eagles. This guy's starting to emerge, 6'6", 250 pounds, runs a 4.5. He's an amazing athlete. I had a chance to chat with him one-on-one earlier this week.
All right, we're here with Otarius Jabari Howard. Now, what is the origin of that name?
So I had an uncle named Terry, and he was like 19. He passed away in a car accident coming from college. So my mom, she just kind of used my name and originated from Terry, took the Y, changed it to an I, added US, and put an O in the front. So
you'd rather the OJ though?
Just rather the OJ. It's a lot easier.
Yeah. Now your particular role, last year 28 receptions, 6 touchdowns. That's a lot of touchdowns, but maybe not as many targets. Dirk Cutter has said, we want to get you the ball more. You sense that that's coming this year? I mean, you've said that you feel more comfortable in the offense.
Yeah, I do. You know, second year, you know, understand the offense more, just understand details of a lot of things that goes on in our offense. And just our position group is very productive in this offense, the tight end position. So whenever opportunity comes, you know, we try to make the plays.
And your role in this offense, I mean, you're such a good blocker, but yet you want to catch the ball. And I guess Dirk has a hard time deciding which way to use you because you're valuable both ways.
Yeah, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, taking pride in the run game. Our running backs, we have some great running backs. I want those guys to be successful. So it's my job to, you know, help those guys be as successful as they can. So also in the passing game, when the opportunity come my way, I try to make plays.
Hey, tell me a little bit about your family. And I read this article where your mom and dad have an ice cream truck, which has got to be the most self-esteem, wonderful job, because everybody loves you when you're the ice cream guy.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody loves you.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your folks.
Yeah. So my mom and dad, we all just sat down one day. Like we just never really had an ice cream truck in our area growing up. So we knew it would be a very big thing to invest in. It would be very helpful. So we just decided to do it. We have 2 trucks that run almost every day. We do events like softball games, baseball games. It's a very big thing in the neighborhood. And like you said, even the days we're off, that's all people ask. Where's the ice cream truck? But we don't work every day. So those are things that goes on.
Now, have you run the truck? Have you been in there?
Yeah, I've been in there before. I try to stay out of it, man. It turns into a photo shoot. Just believe it or not, so
absolutely.
Like we don't get any work done really. So I try to stay out of it when I can.
And you got 2 great quarterbacks, maybe 3 great quarterbacks, as it looks like. But tell me a little bit about Fitzmagic. The first game was Fitzmagic, and it just the way he carries himself, he doesn't seem to get rattled. Tell me a little bit about Ryan.
Veteran guy. He's been around for 14 seasons, and like I tell everybody, there's not a look he hasn't really seen from a defense. So he knows where the ball should go before the coverage is even established. And then his legs, he always can to run and get out of trouble when he doesn't have a throwing lane.
And Monday night games are pretty cool too. You got one of those coming up as well. Being on that national stage and be able to perform. I mean, what does that mean to you? You've been on that stage before, but this team, it's still making a mark.
Yeah. I mean, all eyes on you, for that Monday night game. Everyone understands that, and like I said, just another opportunity to showcase our talents, and that's going to be very interesting when we get a chance to play in that game.
What a wonderful young man to chat with. All right, let's throw it back to Courtney in the studio. And O.J. Howard's having a big fantasy impact. Is he on your team, Courtney? Because it would have been a good pick.
It sure would have. Unfortunately, he's not on my team, and I'm kicking myself right about now, considering how well he's played, as well as the other Bucs playmakers. They've been so great in the early goings of this season. So let's take a look at some of the Bucs' top performers. Let's start with quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick, or Ryan Fitzmagic, whatever you like. Might be making his case for a quarterback controversy while Jameis Winston is out serving a suspension. Fitzpatrick has already thrown for 8 TDs for more than 800 yards, and his favorite target appears to be Deshaun Jackson. Jackson's got 3 TDs and nearly 300 yards. And speaking of the wide receiver spot, we can't forget about Mike Evans. He's got 2 TDs and 230 yards through 2 games. Finally, O.J. Howard, we just heard from him. He's got 1 touchdown and $150 yards. The Bucs sharing the ball and spreading out the scoring. So let's see if these guys can keep up that kind of pace. JP, I'd like to see Peyton Barber get the running game going a little bit tonight. What about you?
Oh, absolutely. And I do have a confession to make about O.J. Howard. I told everybody on my radio show to draft this guy, and I drafted him. But last week, I went with all the experts who said, don't start him against the Eagles defense, so I didn't. And I lost to Hall of Famer John Smoltz. Kicked my butt. As I'm watching O.J. Howard run down the field, I'm going, you're an idiot, JP. But that's how fantasy
you got to listen to yourself, JP.
Sometimes you got to go with your gut, right?
That's right.
We'll be back with Courtney in a few minutes. So thanks, Courtney. Appreciate that. All right, let's look at some of the keys to the game tonight for the Buccaneers. And obviously, Fitzmagic needs to stay hot and accurate. Not only has Fitz been great in terms of knowing which receiver to go to and getting those mismatches. Very smart quarterback with his 14 years of experience, but his accuracy has been deadly on the deep ball and in the red zone. He needs to keep that going. And the O-line has been tremendous. Only 1 sack every 31 dropbacks, one of the top records in the league. So that Buccaneers offensive line needs to keep keeping Fitzmagic upright, and that'll be a key to tonight's game, and that'll get the offense going as well. And red zone stops for the defense. Both of these teams are going to give up yards tonight. Whichever defense can make the stops in the red zone and force field goals will probably end up winning this game. All right, when we come back, Courtney will be back with us, and she'll let us know what some of these Buccaneers are doing in the community, specifically Jason Pierre-Paul. Stay with us.
Keys to the game, brought to you by the Tampa Bay area Volkswagen dealers. Welcome back to Countdown to Kickoff, Tampa Bay versus Pittsburgh on MOR. Brought to you by Yingling Traditional Lager.
Buccaneer football is a big deal in the Tampa Bay community. I used to live there. I've seen it firsthand. And even the littlest of Bucs fans get really excited about game day. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have always had a very strong connection to the community. And this year, they're taking it to the next level, announcing a multi-million-dollar partnerships with the school districts of both Pinellas and Hillsborough counties that will impact upwards of 300,000 students. They recently launched the new initiative at One Buck Place.
Our new Junior Bucs program is the single largest program the Buccaneers Foundation has ever launched, and will support over 200,000 students in over 300 elementary schools and middle schools in Tampa Bay.
The physical education is essential for the mental, physical, and emotional development of our students. Now, we have a goal in Hillsborough County, I know Pinellas does as well, to get to 90% graduation rate by 2020. And it's just not about the academics. It is about the whole child.
But the thing I want you to walk away with, students, is the attention that our community is giving to you, and that they truly value your education. And they have a lot of people in this community, naming today the Buccaneers, that are really supporting you, your growth and everything else.
Oh, it's awesome to be able to be on this platform and having kids look up to you. It's awesome.
For elementary schools, we created the Junior Bucs Fitness Challenge. This is custom fitness testing equipment to be incorporated in PE or the structured play portion of recess for the entire school year. This helps teachers reach their goals of preparing students for their mandated physical tests, but supplying the equipment so many schools are lacking. In middle school, our new Junior Bucs flag football program is equally exciting. Over the past month, we've delivered enhanced flag football curriculum geared for kids to every middle school PE instructor in Hillsborough and Pinellas County. The students will participate in a 3-week-long flag football unit in their schools, and the Buccaneers will visit over 90 middle school campuses so that every single school will have a Bucs Experience takeover featuring instruction from a Bucs legend and certified flag football instructors.
It's fun, man. It's enjoyable. I mean, the kids having fun, we having fun, so we're enjoying it.
It was pretty great. I liked it. I enjoyed it because it was active.
It's refueling. It's refreshing. Being able to work with kids and their smile and their energy right after practice, it gets you going.
Great stuff there for the kids. When we come back, JP joins us back again from outside Raymond James Stadium, and he has an exclusive one-on-one interview with the man going into the Ring of Honor tonight, Mr. Tony Dungy. That's next.
You're watching Countdown to Kickoff, Tampa Bay versus Pittsburgh, right here on MOR. Brought to you by Yingling Traditional Lager.